to bring provision for those in this season. And if anyone is sick or hurting, that you would bring healing to their bodies in Jesus' name. And for those who are struggling with anxiety or depression, God, that your peace and your joy would fill their heart. So we just pray this in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you, Matt. By the way, I don't know if you guys knew this. I was reminded earlier today, this is Earth Day today. You guys know that? I'll celebrate Earth Day. You put that in your calendar. So we're going to actually celebrate God who created the earth today as part of the marketplace. Right. So, all right. But before I want to kick things off here, many of you know Corrie ten Boom. Heard that name? A great woman of God, and John Maxwell sends these videos out each morning, and he has a great video today I want to share with you guys, and we'll allow a few more minutes for people to show up here too. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to mute everyone here. Okay. So here, just a couple minutes here, video, but some really good stuff from John Maxwell.
I want to give you a statement of strength today on Minute with Maxwell from Corrie ten Boom. Tremendous statement. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. Wow. Thank you for that statement, Corrie ten Boom. You see, what she's saying to you and me is this: worry bankrupts today of possibilities and hope. It really does. It literally, worry is a thief. It comes into your life, it steals your joy, it steals your hope, it steals your possibility, it steals your opportunities. Worry is not your friend. In fact, to be honest with you, if I'm around people that are full of anxiety and a lot of worry, okay, I hope you understand this in the context I'm trying to go. I get weary over worry conversations. I mean, it's okay, I think, to express that you have anxiety or you have a fear. I don't think that's wrong. But after you express it, can I tell you, the more you talk about it, it doesn't get better. And I watch people talk about fear and discuss anxiety. And I look at that and I say, it's not getting any better while you're talking about it. My name is John. You hear me say this often, I'm your friend. What I'm about to say to you on Minute with Maxwell is huge. Worry is not your friend. Never has been, never will be. It's a robber. If I were you, I'd start to take control of that. Thanks for being with me today on Minute with Maxwell.
So that's pretty relevant to what we're going through now and going through later and just in our lives. It's really neat to kind of see where real strength comes from, though. And we'll be talking about more today. So if you don't have it subscribed to that, he has a daily John Maxwell Minutes. It's really good stuff. So to kick things off, I want to give you guys an overview of the summit today that you're enjoying from the comfort of your own homes here. Again, our first ever virtual Marketplace Summit. We're going to kick things off. I'm going to share a little history about business fellowship and kind of how things got started. Matt Wood's going to share about some of the formats that we're doing on a monthly basis. And then we've got our featured presentation with Steve and Amy, which we'll formally introduce here shortly, and got a fantastic organization they lead. And then we're going to just have some time for some Q&A. And then if we have some time left, we'll open up some prayer requests, and we're really here to help each other. So love to get to know each of you better as well. So that's kind of the overview for what we're going to be accomplishing today, and this 1 hour go by pretty quickly here too. So to kick things off, I just want to share about the history of business fellowship and how it came about. This is something that started years ago by my dad, who actually we have the privilege of having him on the call, Don Hess, today. Hello. You may have you have any words of wisdom for us? You certainly had plenty for me growing up. So I don't know if you know how to unmute it there, but either way, I guess we can talk about him without him talking back, which is nice. He's been a great dad in sign language. So the way this started was my dad and Jerry Haney was Ewing Kaufman's right-hand man. Most of you know about Ewing Kaufman. And they started Business Fellowship to really pull the church community together and create that camaraderie and that fellowship among the believers in the church community. And that's how the whole thing got started. And then over the years, we actually, when we launched this business club concept, again, I'm with the American Club Association, I'm the president of the American Club Association. The guests are on the call today. We really wanted a ministry under the umbrella of the business clubs. We started this business club concept that branched out of the Kansas City Club. And so, are we unmuted there?
Go ahead.
Hello.
You're doing great. Continue.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, too. But any thoughts before I move forward? You and Jerry?
No, move ahead.
All right. Thanks. But we really wanted a ministry under the umbrella. You know, we really at the business club focus on building relationships, and all the business that flows out of that is a great part of that. And the vision for the business club was really to help our members accomplish their vision. And the vision for Business Fellowship is really help our members accomplish their eternal vision, and really using their business to impact people's lives. And because we're all full-time ministry, and when we're out there helping people in each of your own jobs and positions, you're out there impacting hundreds of people on a regular basis. So we wanted to create more tools and more of a platform and opportunities to help you do that. And that's what Business Fellowship is all about. I wanted Matt, can you unmute yourself there? Do you want to share a little about the kind of vision for Business Fellowship and the format that we've been going on a monthly basis, so we can invite people back to a more intimate format, but share a few minute or two about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason, when Martin and I started to talk, one of the things with Business Fellowship, a big part of its mission statement is trying to empower believers who are in the business field by taking away the secular sacred divide. There's this big deal that you're in ministry or you're in business, and it's kind of like if you're in business, you're not in ministry. But we're called to be the church wherever we go. Mm-hmm. And so we never stop doing ministry. So whether you are a pastor or a business person, you're called to full-time ministry if you are a believer in Jesus. And so we wanted to create a platform, place where people could come to be empowered to do that. But then we also realized that there are real big stresses with business. There are sales that need to be done, quotas that need to happen. There are conflicts that take place with our work colleagues and different coworkers. And there are all of these things that happen in business that cause real stress, real pain, real depression. And oftentimes in what we receive at church, there aren't places to have honest dialogue about those issues. So you may be sitting in a Bible study with a small group, and you have a sales meeting coming up that's really important for the longevity and the future of your business. But as people are going around asking for prayer, someone's asking for prayer for their parents who maybe are sick, or a neighbor that's not doing well, and it gets to you. And most people, I think, at that moment don't feel the freedom to say, hey, can we pray for my sales meeting tomorrow? It seems a little vain. It seems like it doesn't quite fit. But that's a real need that actually really does need prayer. And I actually believe that God wants to be fully involved in that sales meeting. That there's not a place that we go that he doesn't want to be in. That's the promise that we get at the end of Matthew, that he'll be with us always. And so we created these business fellowship gatherings that meet once a month to be that place. It's an hour a month. We could probably do them more regularly. That would be good. But right now it's once a month for an hour. We have one in Overland Park. That's the second Wednesday of the month. And then we have one in Lee Summit. That's the first Tuesday of the month. And so that's a time for us to get together where we can share openly about our business. We can share where we want to pray for each other. We then break up into small groups so that way we can pray for one another. And I think it's important to realize that we want everyone to pray for each other because we want to mobilize everyone to prayer. So there's not this super class of Christian, I laugh, because Martin calls me the club chaplain sometimes, but I really don't want that title because I want us all to be doing this. It's not something that Matt does and then everyone else follows. It's something that we all do together. And so in that first time, we all pray for each other. We pray for our needs. And then we'll open up the Bible and we'll dig into a passage together. And so we do Discovery Bible Study for 20 minutes where we pick a passage of text, we read it out loud, we ask each other, what does it say about God? What's it say about man? And what are examples that we can take from this text that we can immediately apply into our life and into our business? And we want people to come up with practical goals of how they're going to do that, something that's measurable, that they can be held accountable to. Because the groups aren't going to be effective if all we do is come and we don't actually grow. And so we want to grow in our discipleship. We want to grow in our walk with Jesus. And so these groups are to help us do that and to see our businesses receive the benefit from becoming better followers of Jesus. Because I honestly believe that as we become better at following Jesus, our businesses will grow. The blessings of the Lord will follow. I just believe in the promises of Scripture. And so, but that actually means we have to live those things out. We can't just talk about them. We actually have to go and do them. And so that second section is where we discuss that. And then the third section is kind of our planning section. So it's where we're talking about how can we grow as a group? Who are people in our lives that we can invite into the group? So maybe people that are part of the ACA, but it could be a client of yours or a coworker that you think would benefit from becoming a part of that group. And then we want to make plans to invite them and bring them in. And then ultimately, as those groups grow, we want to empower people to multiply them. So we keep the groups pretty simple to run. It's a lot of facilitation, not a lot of teaching. So that way they can multiply quickly. So the long-term vision is that we would have groups kind of multiply from out of the ACA into the community. So we may have business fellowship groups and companies. We may have them in churches around the city, but it becomes this outreach that is empowering business people to be the light of Christ in the community. And then marketplace summits like this become outreaches that we can pull people in, but also ways for us to mobilize the larger group together to actually bring change in our city, that we can start to take on the needs of a city as a larger community to see our cities transformed. And so that's the long-term vision, as we want to start by transforming us within, but then seeing that internal transformation will lead to external growth and change in the cities and the communities that we live in. And so that's kind of the vision of Business Fellowship and where we're at. And if there's any questions, I'd love to answer any questions before we bring Steve and Amy on.
Yeah, we'll have some time for Q&A at the end too here. So, well, thank you, Matt, for all you do. And if you haven't had a chance to get to know Matt, please reach out and great connection. And really, thank you, Matt, what you had to share there. It's about applying the principles. The Bible is one of the original success, has some original success principles, and follow those and you can really apply them to your business and help every aspect of your life. So thanks for all you do. Appreciate your leadership. So what I wanted to share with you just a couple of minutes here is on one of the tools we've created. It's a relationship building tool. And it really works well. We've been working on the platform for over a year now, and it's really kind of come together, and we can start utilizing it. You can personally utilize it in your own church and your own community. You don't have to be a member of the business club even to utilize this. But I want to show you just a quick overview. I'm going to send out a link to everybody when we're done, so you can go play around with it yourself. But the Marketplace Directory is a part of Business Fellowship, and again, like I said, it's a relationship building tool. And so what it allows you to do is one of the challenges you have at church, if you have a home church you go to, is that's not really the place. That's a place designed for worship and fellowship, not really designed to pass your business cards out down the aisle, right? So if you start doing that, you might get alienated pretty fast here. But the church, really, we're there to help each other. And what ends up happening is a lot of times people don't even talk about their business as a result of this whole thing. So the ideal setting of church, if I was like Matt and I went to church together, and Matt's, if I can praise him all day long at church, and that works great. So you need to meet Matt. You guys need to get together and get to know each other. Have you met Doug? That works great. And that's what church is all about. Is helping each other, praising each other, and lifting each other up, encouraging each other, and making connections for each other. So in order to do that, you have to know who does what within the church. And typically, traditionally, they have a business directory. Again, that's a slippery slope because it looks like the church is endorsing the businesses, and something goes south, there's a problem there. So this is not a church business directory. It's not a Christian business directory. It's simply a directory of people where they go to church. And you do your due diligence, but it's a relationship building tool is what this is. So the Marketplace directory, I'll give you a quick sample of this. You can go on, it's free to register. The key in this whole thing, you have to be invited to be a part of this, though, by someone that's already in the directory. So the public can't go on and just, they can fill out this registration button, but they're not going to get in. So they have to be invited by someone, list someone's name that's already in the directory that's invited you to be a part of this. So it becomes a legitimate directory, not just anybody going in there and the public going and putting stuff in. So everyone's been invited. So everybody can be vouched for here. So the Marketplace directory, the way it works is once you get logged in, you can go type in the name of your church. In this case, I'm going to use Amy since she's featuring her today. Type in the name of your church, Abundant Life. And everyone that goes to Abundant Life pops up. And so now I know who I can be a resource for people I go to church with and anyone else in the community too. And here's Amy, Polaris Insurance Solutions. Goes to Abundant Life, Polaris. And little known fun fact, she grew up in South Dakota, homeschooled kids, and has a master's degree in health and wellness. No one knew that about her today. So it's kind of just not a long, enjoys hanging out with family, work out in sports. Not real long profile, but just enough to initiate a conversation and really connect with each other. And then you can start helping each other, spreading the good news for each other at church and throughout the community. So again, it's a terrific relationship building tool. You simply go in to register. You have to be invited to be part of this, which I'll personally invite you guys on the call today. And then you can go and click on register and get into the directory. And then once you're in, then you can start inviting other people within your church and throughout the community and the country for that matter too. We're starting this start right here in Kansas City. So I'll send a link out and you guys can play around with it more and love to get your feedback on it too. We're just now starting to release it to expand now. So speaking of Amy and Steve, Amy and Steve represent a company called Polaris Insurance Solutions. They're very humble, but they're one of the leading health insurance companies in the Midwest, in the country for that matter. And they break new records every month, and they're just helping a ton of people. But they're a fantastic couple. Most importantly, though, they really see their business as truly making an impact for eternal impact in people's lives and really helping people. And they help a ton of people with insurance, of course, but it's way beyond that. It's really how they can make an impact on people's lives. And so I've asked them to share today how they do that and a little history of how they got started. It's quite a story too, how they started from scratch and really launched this company to what it is today. And it's an incredible vision where they're taking it to in the future. I've asked them to share some history and also, what they're doing to how they let God use them as a tool in the marketplace. So then we'll have some time for Q&A after that too. But without further ado, I'd like to turn over to Amy and Steve. And thank you for being with us today and sharing your story with us.
You're welcome. Thank you, Martin.
You're here, so we're going to.
Thank you, everybody, for having us. We are humbled to be able to share with you what God has done with our business and within our lives. You saw my background on that little blurb there on the Marketplace directory. So my background is I have a master's degree in health and wellness, exercise physiology. I worked in cardiac rehab, outpatient physical therapy, and also worked at the University of Montana in the employee wellness department. Then I was super blessed to be home with my kids for about 13 years. I was able to homeschool them during that time. You want to share about yours?
Yes. I studied horticulture in college and wanted to apply that to the golf business. I never really utilized that as much as I probably would have or wanted to, but I did. I was a golf professional for 10 years, and then I sold golf equipment wholesale for another 8 years or so in Southern California. And about the time that the economy went down in the early 2000s, I was either going to weather the storm and stay in that business, or I was going to find something different. And so in the process, I found a family friend who had a similar business to ours then in Kansas City, came to Kansas City. That's where Amy and I met in that office, and then we built our business off of researching and finding out how to win at this business on our own, basically. We didn't get a lot of direction out of that office, but we did get some of the tools that we needed to figure it out on our own, and then that's what we did. And then you're going to hear a little bit of the rest of the story on how we built this from zero to where we're at. And you know, the story is not, it may be our story, but it really is God's work. And God has put this in front of us and led us along the way, and not just we developed this on our own. So, and you'll see through this story how when we relinquish that over to Him, how things change. So
For sure. So in 2011, I found myself a single mom with 3 kids who, for some reason, wanted to eat more than once a day. So I had to figure things out real quick. Keep in mind, I'd been home with my kids for 13 years, but I thought, oh, I'll be able to get a job. You know, I have a master's degree, and I looked at 80 to 120 jobs every day. Nothing was coming together. I thought, well, what if I get a job in, let's say, at North Kansas City Hospital, and I have to leave at 5:30 in the morning, and I get home at 7 or 8, and a couple years later, my kids are acting out and being crazy, and I'm like, why? And then they'll be like, well, you were never around to help. So I was a little bit worried about that, but I kept searching, and then this health insurance opportunity came across my lap. Well, there's no little kid in career class that says, I want to be a health insurance agent when I grew up. It's no one ever, really. So I was like, well, I guess it's better than what I have going on right now. I can help people, which is something I really love to do. I can work around my kids. And then I found out it's all commission, and I'm like, okay, God, I don't know how this really works, but I'm going to trust you. This is what you provided. So away we went. And the value in that at that time, the real gift in that business was the time management, that I could work around my kids. They were in public school now. I didn't have to miss a golf tournament of Nelson's or a Valentine party of Emma's or anything like that. It also taught me discipline, taught me to rely on myself rather than someone above me who tells me what I'm valued at. So I started rolling slowly, making some sales. And about 3 months into the business, there's more detours and things coming along. So obviously, you know, I went through divorce, so there's that grieving of that, just not really what you thought that your life was going to be like. The financial piece was super stressful. I literally left with I cashed in $10,000 cash benefit in my life insurance policy to get the kids and I started. Well, that might sound great, but as you all know, 10,000 and 4 mouths to feed. Just trying to cover food, clothing, and shelter was, you know, not going to last too awful long. So there was that stress. Then my brother was diagnosed with basically his heart was in heart failure following the flu. And after about 2 months, he passed away. A few months later, my sister was diagnosed with mesothelioma cancer. She fought really hard and long for about 1.5 years. In the midst of all that, my health got tanked. I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, which is still a struggle today. It took about 5 years to get it under control enough that I could function very well. My brother's only child passed away at age 38. One of our best friends who happened to officiate our wedding passed away in his sleep. And then to finish it off, both of my parents passed away within 2 days of each other. Right before Christmas in 2018, right at the end of open enrollment. So talk about depression and just being real, you know, and it was a lot, but, you know, God doesn't promise us a life with no issues. And, you know, I think for me, getting through that was just being real with God. You know, I was very thankful for a career that I could have the time to spend with those people as they're passing away. But you know what? I was sad, and I was honestly really mad for a while. I was just being real with God. You know what? I'm really ticked off at you. You know, I think you could have saved, these people or this situation. But I think the key in that is in being real. I didn't always make the right decisions, and I didn't always make the godly or biblical decisions, but right ones. But I didn't leave him. I didn't turn my back on him. I still, fell in his arms and at his feet. And one of the great blessings he provided was this guy coming along and helping us through that and bringing us together in our business. So as you can imagine, our business was a little bit, stop and go, depression, death, this, whatever. So success was here and then there and then here and then there. And there was this defining moment when my oldest daughter said one day, hey, I was talking with Dad and we just wondered, why don't you just find something that you're good at? And I was like, what? And I knew that it wasn't that I wasn't good at it. I just knew that I wasn't giving my best. And that's what God really asks. So, and I knew that if I was confident that God had brought me through all of this and provided this for me, that he's doing his part, but I wasn't doing my part. And it was time for me to step up and do that. So about that time, we were doing a lot of praying, a lot of time with the Lord anyway, but I just said one time, you know what, God, this is your business. You just do whatever you want with it. I'm going to do my part, but you can blow it up. You can shut it down. I really don't care, because I really had peace that whatever it was that he did, that he had a better and bigger plan. So I gave that all to him. And then I got busy working. Again, didn't have a ton of money, so I spent a lot of time networking, building business relationships and friendships. Then I did that, fun calling, the prospecting, cold calling that everyone hates, the dirty work, But I just thought, for all that the Lord has done for me, this is nothing. I really shouldn't be complaining, watching people die and what they endure. I can make a phone call and somebody can say no to me. That's okay. So got focused on that. When we were making some money, we'd invested back in the business and continued to try to help others around us as we could. There was times there. I remember one moment I was at the gas station trying to figure out if I was going to put gas in my car or buy food for the kids. I mean, that wasn't, that long ago. We've been in this 8 years, so it went from broke to then when we could buy gas and groceries, all of that. So anyway, we just stayed really focused and trusted in the Lord. And once we got up from that season in our business and looked around, it was like, holy smokes, look what God's done. We have an abundance of great clients. We have an amazing team of agents. We had some financial stability, all while maintaining this time freedom. So we were like, wow, this is cool. But then this new fear kind of came over me of, well, I'm a little bit afraid of success, as crazy as that sounds. But the deal with me, one of the things that I despise is arrogancy and pride. And a lot of times that comes with success. So I was definitely afraid of that. And I just thought, look, God, I don't know. I mean, we're doing okay. I don't really know that we need a lot more. And he just said to me, but just think about all the people we could help. And I'm like, what? Yes. Oh, I'm all about that. So, okay, I'm ready. Here we go. So, so like Martin has shared, and Matt, that, our business is our ministry. And we tell our agents all the time, what the work we do is really important. It's not just selling a health insurance plan. You're really helping people. But within those moments of helping, whether it's an individual or a business or Medicare or whatever, really just loving on people. And I'm going to share a few excerpts, I guess, and a few verses that everybody probably knows this book about the prayer of Jabez, but I'll read the short prayer real quick. This is a very impactful prayer and something I would encourage you all to do every day. But this says in 1 Chronicles 4:10, and Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, "Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain." So God granted him what he requested. So one thing I wanted to read about in here is really what our mindset was, that really, God, you do whatever you want. So this says, notice a radical aspect of Jabez's request for blessing. He left it entirely up to God to decide what the blessings would be and where and when and how Jabez would receive them. So God's bounty is really limited only by us and not by his resources, his power, or his willingness to give. A couple other little things I wanted to share is, you know, in the whole being humble and thinking, if God would have showed me this whole picture in the beginning, I'd have been like, whatever, there's no way that we can do all of that. We're just simple people that are learning the insurance business. But God specializes, and here it says God specializes in working through normal people who believe in a supernatural God who will do his work through them. What he's waiting for is the invitation. So what this means, God's math looks like my willingness and my weakness plus God's will and his supernatural power is equals an expanding territory. Let's see. So to pray for a larger border, you know, like Matt was saying, even in your time with people at church, when it comes around to asking for prayer, do I really ask for prayer for my sales meeting? But so for me at first, it was like, sounds a little arrogant, or I don't know, something to be asking for larger borders. But to pray for a larger border is to ask for a miracle. It's just that simple. A miracle is an intervention by God to make something happen that wouldn't normally happen. There's no way that Steve and I could have built what we have now without God. No way at all. There's just way too many pieces and links that are missing. And so it required a real dependence on God, which I know we all want to, you know, I do my thing and I don't need anybody else and I can figure this out and I'm smart, which I'm sure you all are very intelligent, but dependence is meaning that you're walking with the Lord Jesus. So we are expected to attempt something large enough that failure is guaranteed unless God steps in. So now we have really big goals for God, you know. And so when we're setting our goals, we're really just praying like, I don't know, okay, so on my group prospecting for this year, how many groups am I going to set this goal, you know? So I'm praying about it and I'm thinking one number and he throws out this other number that's like more than double what I already think is a stretch. And I'm like, what? Like, okay, all right, you can do it. I know. I'll write that down and I'll tell people that number, which is 42, by the way, which is really big. So you can all keep me accountable. But there's no way that can happen unless, you know, God is stepping in and doing his thing. Do you want to share any more about that?
Just to piggyback on the video that Martin showed, and I know that there's some of our team members are on the call here, but we talk about this all the time, about worrying about the things that you can control and not worrying about the things that you cannot control. And the things that you cannot control, you give those up, and you can only do what you can do. So that's a important thing that we share with our team, and our team has come to us. Some people have come and some have gone, and the ones that are here are Christian people, and it just worked out that way. It was one of those things where we prayed about, God, bring us the agents, bring us the clients, bring us the people that you want to be here, that you want us to that you want us to work with, and this is what we've ended up with, and it's just awesome deal. One
of our agents said once, "Hey, to be on our team, do you need to be a Christian and like tacos?" We're like, well, no, not necessarily, but God did bring that together.
Yeah.
So what we try to do and how we try to live daily, and this is just something I'm going to just challenge you to think about. How would your day unfold if you believed that God wants your borders expanded at all times with every person, and if you are confident that God's powerful hand is directing you even as you minister? So ask the Lord for more ministry, then follow the nudging of His Spirit. Ask Him to bring those people in your life and across your path. And then when He's nudging you, like, just ask, how are you? How can I help you? What can I do for you? And some people will be like, I don't really know you, but then just continue to ask. Ask God to provide those people, put them in your path, and be willing to step out when God's nudging you. Our thing is, one of our big driving factors for us is we love to give to people. We don't really like to be in the limelight, and we don't want praise for giving. We just want to do it with love and grace and point it to God, and just kind of melt away in the background. So
We're going to show a quick video. This is a video that's taken by our field marketing organization. One of the places that we write a lot of our under 65 business and some of our over 65 business. And so they did a little video snippet on Amy and us. So I just want to share that with everybody. Share screen. Can you see that okay, Martin?
HSC has changed my life a lot, because when I started this, my goal was just to provide food, clothing, shelter, emotional stability for my kids, and that was really all I could see at the moment. Initially, when I started, I didn't have much money, so I did a lot of networking and tried to make the business work that way, and it worked out well. But at a point there, I knew you need to put your butt in the seat and get on the phone. It's more effective, more efficient. So I did that. I was scared out of my mind to make that first call, like, oh, please do the voicemail. Like, oh, wait, that won't make me money, right? But I understood it, and I just put my head down, and I worked really hard for a few years so that I could build up a book of business and residual income. But God had bigger plans, and we have this great team of about 15 agents here, and provides us a great opportunity. Just don't quit. There was a million reasons why I should have quit. I wanted to quit every day, every week. Some days it was hard to get out of bed. Some days I didn't get out of bed, but just don't quit, because when you don't quit, you end up in success. It just happens. Well, I was fortunate enough to meet Steve. She's been just a wonderful blessing to me. He's super patient, kind, and loving, and we run our business together, and we have 3 great kids. Audra is almost 25. She's got married to Aaron this summer. She has a little boy, Maxwell, who is 2 and super smart, just like everybody's grandchild, right? Nelson is a senior at Broadhurst University. And Emma Grace is 15. She is a sophomore and I'm homeschooler here at home. We have 1 dog, Toby. He's a rescue dog from the pound, and he is super sweet. Doesn't really bother anybody, but he's super protective of us. We had a whiteboard, we had a goal board that we put together as a family. And one was to get out of the apartment, to get them to a place where they could invite their friends and be the place that they really like to hang out. So we were able to purchase a home and a pool and all of that. So we have lots of activities, and that warms Mama's heart a lot. For fun, what we like to do as a family is just do a lot of philanthropic things. We'll do little daytime evening events where we'll go do random acts of kindness. We'll go around town and see where we can help others, whether it's just actions that we do or giving money or words of encouragement. We like to do that with our kids since they see really beyond themselves and give. God's provided us just a multitude of blessings, and we feel like it's just our job, I guess, to give it back to others. So it's provided us this great opportunity to have a life that we never really dreamed of. And again, like I said, above all of that, giving others.
Okay. So that just kind of shows a little bit of what we talked about, in our giving, and we have bigger plans for giving as well. So, those are things that we're working on, and we will, as we grow and our business grows and expands, we'll be opening up more and more giving to places that God puts on our heart and people that God puts on our heart, and we'll be doing more and more of that. But to kind of close this up, I wanted to give you guys 3 questions. I want to present 3 questions to you, and these questions are, the answers to this could be an eternal and a godly perspective, or it could be a worldly perspective. And so I challenge you to ask yourself these questions in relation to your business and how you operate your business, and then come up with those answers. And if you need some counsel, or you need help, or you need to be around people that can help you with your with these questions, then we'll be glad to step in and help out as much as we can. But the first one in relation to your business is, what is your goal, and how do you define your goal in business? The second question is, how do you define winning? And the third question is, what is your motivation? So when you think about those questions in relation to your business and in relation to an eternal perspective, what is your answer to those questions? And do you operate your business and your life with those principles in mind? So just some food for thought. If you have would like to join us for our regular meetings with Business Fellowship, we'd love to have you. And it's a place where you can share as much or as little as you want to, and all of those things stay within that group. So there's no gossip or anything outside of that. It's a protected area that you can feel confident that you can talk to any one of us in the group at that point. So thank you for having us, Martin, and allowing us to be spotlighted here. It's not really something that we like to throw ourselves out there that much, but it is our story, and God created our story, and there's a lot left to be written. So
yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. What an amazing story. I really appreciate you. We actually recording this too, by the way, so we can send it out to a lot more people that couldn't make the summit today. But I'd like to actually open this up to you on the call. Just go ahead and unmute yourself, and let's do a little Q&A. Some questions you guys have, or thoughts, or you'd like to share. Questions for Steve and Amy? On the bottom left-hand corner is that mute button. You got to unmute yourself though in order to talk.
So Amy, Steve, I know you guys are based here in Lee Summit.
I'm going to introduce yourself too, Doug.
I'm sorry?
want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Doug Day. I am one of the ACA ambassadors in Lee Summit, mortgage banker with BOK Financial. And I've been on the business fellowship team in Lee Summit for been a while now, hasn't it? So I know Amy and Steve are based out of Lee Summit, but what is your footprint? Where are you licensed, and where can you write health insurance?
So I'm licensed in 26 states, and if I need another one, I can pick it up. So I write all over the country, from individual health insurance. Believe it or not, there's a group employers who want to just do everything over the phone. It's one less meeting that they have to get together. So we write group insurance as well across the country. Steve's focus is on Medicare, so the over 65 market. Again, he's licensed in multiple states. Anything else you want to share about that?
No, I mean, it's there are many more states that we can pick up. So if we have a client that moves, or if you have a client that you want to refer to us that's in another state, we can pick up another license and we can help them. There may be some states that are not very advantageous, but we can, we'll be glad to help where we can help, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. What other questions we have for Steve and Amy?
I've got a comment. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay. Hey, I just wanted to thank you guys. That was really an incredible story, and I hope sometime you put that down in writing. It would really be good to have. And incidentally, y'all are not social distancing properly there, are you? Oh no! Just wondered, what experiences have you all had with the virus thing here? Have you had claims on that, or?
Yeah, so the carriers have all been really good in dealing with it. On the individual side, covering the testing for it, or waiving, like if somebody gets a new plan, waiving a waiting period on the initial illness. Waiting period is waived. On the group health insurance side, most of the carriers are being excellent. There are some carriers who are covering everything related to COVID. If they are diagnosed and in the hospital, they're waiving all claims for any of those types of occurrences, which is huge. Now, on the back end, that may roll out into higher premiums, next year. But they're being good as far as the carriers themselves. And then the other piece that we're seeing a lot of people losing their jobs, and Sprint's set to lay off another 10,000 over the next year. Then all the COVID stuff, yeah. So, those people are usually really worried about the benefits. What am I going to do about health insurance? And a lot of people, all they know is to go to the marketplace because the government has a $1 billion marketing budget. And funny thing, we don't have that marketing budget. So people end up going to the marketplace. They're confused. They don't know what they're doing. Those are lots of people that we've been helping lately, whether it's marketplace plans or something else. So, yeah. But while Don was on the open line here, I just want to thank you for starting Business Fellowship and the ACA and Martin and you guys, letting the Lord use you to start something so important and so impactful. And we're very grateful that the Lord brought us together and for you all to start this for all of us here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other questions we have for we got a few minutes here for Steve and Amy. Jennifer? Do you have a question, Jennifer? I think she raised her hand there. I can't hear you. Okay. Any other questions at all from Steve and Amy?
I do have one last comment. Amy is pretty special in our industry, and she doesn't like to toot her own horn very much. But this last year within our FMO, she was the number 2 group salesperson and the sales agent within the FMO. She was also number 5 in dental, number 2 in critical illness, and number 14 overall in the entire FMO of over 2,000 agents. So she is special. She does do a great job, and she really cares about people. And there's a lot of policies and a lot of people, clients that we deal with, where we spend hours and we get paid nothing, zero. And there's other clients that we spend, a moderate amount of time and we get paid, nicely on. So it doesn't matter who those people are. We help anybody and everybody in between, and we get paid what we get paid by how we help people. And so we go about it a little bit differently than, it's not a sales job, it's an education process. And people get educated, then they make a qualified decision on what they should do. And we get paid or we don't. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All those awards really are God. I mean, they really are. I mean, I know I do my part, but it wouldn't be happening, without his blessing. So
yeah. I've got a question. Do you guys, if we run into someone that's looking to make a job transition and get into health insurance, are you guys open to new agents, or are you guys full at this point?
No, we're open for new agents, and we can show them how to get licensed and how to, where to go to take the exams and all the stuff that they need to do what we do, and then all the contracting. We can help them all the way through to their first sales, and then even beyond that, how to grow their business so that they can have something to rely on in the future. We do get paid a residual income on some products, and so that's kind of our salary. We build our salary within our sales, and that's how we do that. And then when we have too much, we give it away.
And we have this great team of agents too that is great about helping one another. We have a group WhatsApp
message board, yeah.
And they throw out questions and they help each other. So we're always here, and we're a family. Again, the answer to that really, Martin, is just like, we just leave it open to God. You want to send agents? Cool. You want to send clients? Cool. You don't want us to build a bigger team? That's cool. Just whatever God wants. So if they're coming our way, then there's a reason for that.
What amazing work environment and culture you guys have created there to people. It's like you're one big family there. So that's awesome. Yeah. Any other questions at all before we wrap this up? What I'd like to do, any thoughts, questions? We had a comment here. Yeah, we are going to send out everyone's contact information. If you want to include, if you don't, please let me know. But encourage you guys to connect with each other in this call here. But I'll send the information out about Amy and Steve. Great video, by the way. I feel like I got to know you better and your family. Thank you for sharing that. A couple of things I got out of that was, you talk about love on people. Just loving on people and helping people and serving them, and the business takes care of itself. You really truly serving folks and never quit. Just keep trusting God and keep plugging away. So no, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing today, guys. Let's give them a hand. What I'd like to do, actually, this is kind of last minute here, and it's already 10:56, so we officially will be done at 11. But since we have there's like 18 people in the call or something, I'd like to. The business club's all about relationships and getting to know each other. So if you'd like to stay on the call, we're going to officially wrap things up. But I'd like to go around the horn here and everybody introduce themselves. And 30 seconds, just introduce what you do, and there's something we can quick, pray for you, prayer request or something. Since this is a new whole virtual marketplace, something we can make our own rules here and do what we want to, right? In the agenda. So if you guys need to take off, go ahead and take off. That's totally understand. That's fine. But if you like to hang out and get to know some other folks on the call, we're going to spend, it's 5 minutes doing this, 5-10 minutes, and look forward to getting to know everybody. So have a great week, and we're going to go around the horn here. If you want to stay on the call, please stay on with us, okay? So thank you guys so much. Doug, you want to kick us off?
Okay, good morning again. My name's Doug Day, nationally licensed mortgage banker with BOK Financial. I am one of the ACA ambassadors in Lee Summit. And as Amy and Steve said, you're all welcome to come and visit our business fellowship team first Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on this website. My phone and email can be found at mortgageproac.com.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Matt Woods. Let's hear back again from Matt.
Yeah, so as he says, my name's Matt. I help lead Business Fellowship, but then during the day, I am an account executive for an IT and marketing firm here in Kansas City called Strategy LLC. So we're a little bit of a unique burden that we do all of the digital marketing and IT work in one house. So instead of a smaller, medium-sized business having to have a graphic designer, a web designer, someone that's doing SEO, someone that's installing their phone, someone that's managing their servers, they can have one contact that can do all of that in-house. So that way they can focus on whatever their business is, and we can take care of their marketing and IT needs. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm also working for a nonprofit here in town called All Nations that does church planning and community development overseas. And so I'm helping them with their development work, mainly with grant writing and just different church relationships around the region.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Matt. We got Phil. Phil, you there, Phil? There he is.
Hi, I've known Amy.
Glad you can make it today.
Hi, I've known Amy and Steve for quite a while, a couple of years now, and they are just super people. Really good to have around, kind and very helpful to anybody they meet. I'm a realtor with Reese Nichols and a Chiefs fan.
All right.
And I started working in the realty field just about 3-4 months ago. And it was going really great, quite a few sales up front. And then all of a sudden, nobody wanted to go look at houses anymore. So it's been a challenge to switch over to virtual homes, tours, and so forth. But that's married and have a couple of daughters, one in college and then one out on her own.
All right. Glad you could join us today, Phil.
Thanks.
Next up, we've got Brandon Greason. Morning, Brandon.
Good morning. My name's Brandon. I'm a member of the Northland ACA Club. So I also live up here. I work for MTS Contracting. We are a construction company, and we do all commercial exterior restoration work. So we fix brick buildings, large commercial structures, concrete. We do waterproofing, anything related to the building envelope pretty much. Our main office is in North Kansas City, and then we have one in Springfield, Missouri, and one in Des Moines, Iowa. And I do business development for them. And I'm married. I have 2 little boys that are 8 and 6.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks for joining us, Brandon. Next, we got Code Man Cody.
Dude, I forgot that was even on there.
How's it going, Cody?
I'm doing business professional today. That's actually my legal first name. No, I'm Cody Ketzner. I'm a member of the Overland Park ACA. I've been a member for a long time, but seeing some new faces on here. So nice to meet you guys virtually. I hope to meet you in person one day too. And so anyways, I'm with Keller Williams here in town. And Steve and Amy, great job today. Like, I was taking notes and I'm leaving here inspired. So you guys you're awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us today, Cody.
Yeah, definitely.
Tom Cavalieri.
Hello, Tom Cavalieri, Wealth Advisor, Tall Oaks Advisors. Thank you very much. I wasn't on the whole thing, but it very inspiring, a lot of information there. So I really appreciate it. What I'm doing is just being out there as a resource for people. I started 2 groups on Facebook, one for leadership people, management or above, looking and making a transition, and also a group for small business owners, as trying to put some resources out there every day that people may be able to benefit from.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. All right. Next up, we've got, let's see, Danielle.
Morning, guys. Been kind of a crazy morning. Sorry, Amy and Steve, I didn't get to catch everything, but what I did hear, it was awesome. I'm Danielle Jinkerson, Pure Magic Foundation Specialist, Home Foundation Repair. I do the marketing for Pure Magic, and I'm a member at Overland Park. I'm a new ambassador at the Overland Park Club. And we are just kind of plugging along as an essential business, and I told few folks yesterday that we are hiring, and we're hiring looking for some really good guys that have some construction experience. So if you know somebody that needs a job, we'd like to bless them with that.
All right. Thank you, Danielle. And who else we got? Doug Tomlinson. Can you hear us, Doug? Morning, Doug. Okay, so.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Hi, Doug.
I had to hit the right button. It's one of those days. Hey, I also work with a healthcare solutions team that Amy was talking about, but I'm also help seniors with their supplemental insurance, and I'm actually as an independent agent, I'm with a bunch of different groups and agencies, so I can find the right thing for the right people, and that's all I go out to do this for, because personally I've died 6 times. So, wow. You know, I grew up dead 3 times before I was 2. So I take a little bit to heart and try to show people the right way so they can have a chance to reach their dreams as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Doug, for joining us today.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, fantastic. Really enjoyed that. Actually, a video of this, so we can send out a link to everybody, and you can forward on to folks that weren't able to make the call today. And I think, Steve and Amy, I think what Don said, asking if you had a book in you, I think there's a couple of books in there with you guys. By the way, Don's he does ghostwriting too, by the way.
Nice.
So he's a writer.
I've been trying to get Amy to put something on paper for a while.
Yeah. But you guys have an amazing story and it's inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing today. That was fantastic. What a great way to kick off the day. And
thank you.
So we'll begin. I'll send a link out to everybody with that video. And thank you guys for attending today. And we'll look to your inbox for a future Marketplace Summit too. So thanks again. And Doug, or you had some comment?
Oh, we covered that.
Okay. All right. So, well, thanks again, guys, and have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you all again soon.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Have a blessed day.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah, terrific time. Thank you.